Hey guys, welcome back to an all-new episode of Conflicts. Today we'll be looking at the all-new Dreametech W10 robotic vacuum. Now, we reviewed quite a few robotic vacuums, and this one here is actually a premium, in which we'll be unboxing today, trying out and seeing exactly what it's all about in terms of the features go. Now, if you guys wanted your own, be sure to check out the link down below in the description. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so this here is our box. It is a gigantic box. And I would recommend just being careful when you do carry it, as it is quite large and it is quite heavy. Whew. So it says DreameBot W10, a self-cleaning robot vacuum, and it's a mop. So you got the 2-in-1 feature. So it is a mop, a self-washing mop, auto-drying, and a 4-liter separated water tank. So you really don't even have to do anything. It just kind of does its own thing, which is absolutely great. As we kind of rotate it about, it talks about a little more in terms of the details go. So it does have a LiDAR navigation and carpet detection. So that's actually something that's really haven't seen in other robotic vacuums. It doesn't know where there's carpet and where there's not. So this one here is more of a sophisticated, I would say almost AI built-in system. So as we kind of rotate it even more, over here it says it's got a 4,000 PA suction spinning mop. So that's actually one of the fastest ones we've seen yet. So this thing is definitely a heavy duty robotic vacuum. All right, let's go ahead and just open this thing up and see what's on the inside. So on the top, we do have a user manual explaining how to go ahead and set this thing up. Wow, this thing is big. Alright, so this here's everything that you get. So you get a gigantic docking station. Now the reason why it's big is because it contains these water containers for our mopping. So it's got that self-cleaning functionality where it contains these 2 containers. You got a waste tank and then you have a fresh tank. So basically the clean water and the dirty water, and it'll automatically flush itself based off of that. Now this here's the station where our robotic vacuum will go into, and I have to say it's got a very nice, elegant look. And speaking of robotic vacuum, this here is our Dreame W10, and I have to say it's something a little bit more unique compared to the other ones we've seen, and you can actually see the 2 motor spots for our mops. Compared to the other mopping robotic vacuums, they're very simplistic and they're essentially just kind of running along a wet towel. This thing actually has these spinning motors that spin the cloth, which is quite interesting. So that actually brings us to this particular box right over here. Inside here, you can actually see what we have. So we have these 2 brushes. So this here's our mop brushes, and actually it is a good quality brush. So you'll be able to mop using those. And then you also have the side brush, which are these little spindles. So you can go ahead and collect the dust as we're using it. And then on top of that, you also get a tiny brush here to clean it. So let's go ahead and move on and take a closer look at a robotic vacuum. So before we use it, we do have to semi-assemble it. So just like last time with the other robotic vacuums, you want to go ahead and remove all the different small attachments. So in this case here, we'll go ahead and open up the lid. You'll be able to see the dust bin, which is this little cap right over here. So you simply go ahead and push this button here, and this will pop it out. And this will collect our dust. Not as big as some of the other ones, but again, you know, obviously it does serve the function of it. The main purpose of this is being both a robotic vacuum and a robotic mop. And then just go ahead and put it back in here, and you're ready to go. Now you have your power button, you have your location button, and you have your home button. You want to go ahead and remove these little pads here. This here will be for the sensor. So it's got a front sensor or a push sensor, so the moment it hits something, it'll kind of bounce back, telling it to go ahead and turn back around. Now you do have your LiDAR sensor here on the top as well. It will all constantly rotate and determine where it's at in real time. It'll even create a 3D environment in the app, which we'll look at in just a little bit. Now as you kind of flip it over here, so we do have some, looks like almost tracking sensors here on the sides in case if it goes near an end boundary. And it also has a carpet sensor too, so I'm kind of curious to see how that plays out. Now over here is our spindle, so just go ahead and open it up by pressing this button here. And this will pop open like that, and you can go ahead and remove it. And from there you can clean it and just kind of use it based off of that. So that's nice that they've included that. Put it back in there, flip it in play. And there we are. Now it does have an active suspension, so we can go ahead and go over different bumps. And go ahead and install our spindle or our brush here. So this here is a side brush to go ahead and help collect dust. And I believe it just kind of clips in just like that. And then these are our mops, so we'll put the mops one in here, one. And then we got a second one. Sweet. How cool does that look? I'm really curious to see how this plays out because I've never seen anything like it before. So let's go ahead and plug it in next and see what it does. All right, so we went ahead and plugged into the wall and put a robotic vacuum inside. And it's actually got a display screen. I like this a lot. So it kind of shows you what's happening. Right now it's charging the robotic vacuum. It's at 29%. You have your home button and then you have your clean button. So let's go ahead and fill up some clean, fresh water in here and see how this plays out.
Start cleaning mop pads.
All right, so we're all set and ready to go. We have it set up in our main room. I can go ahead and click on the app right over here for Dreamebot W10, and this will go ahead and give us a layout of what it scans. So originally when we did put it up here, it went and scanned the room and kind of created a 3D map, and then we went and created different rooms. So we have an A room, B, C, D, and E based on what we want to clean, and then of course we also have a no-go zone, which is this purple area here that I included especially because the carpet. Now it does have a carpet sensor in there, however I just felt a little bit more comfortable adding that just in case. Now with that said, you can see the different versions. So you can see room mode, you can see all mode, and then you can also see zone mode. So you can go ahead and just send it to a specific zone based on your current preference. And then you have also your setting mode on the top right. So you have your device settings, which allow you to go ahead and adjust the different things, including carpet boost, child lock in case if a child keeps going by the machine and pressing the button, and then the resume cleaning mode button. Now you also have mop cleaning settings, so you can go and have it set up in a way where it'll go out and start mopping, and after about 10 meters it'll come back and wash itself and then go again, or you can adjust the settings based on your current preference, or you can even change it based off of the zone. Now moving down, you have schedule cleanup, allowing you to go ahead and create your own schedule, allowing you to go ahead and create a time lapse on when you want it to mop on its own. And then you also have an accessory usage. This will showcase the filter, the side brush, and how much the remaining life is in case if you do have to replace it. You have your remote control, allowing us to control it manually, which we'll be doing very shortly, as well as locate my robot in case if you lost your robot as well. Now, besides that, you do have your current settings here, so you can manage your map, and then you can create different floors. You have different cleaning modes, so you can see that there's only mopping, sweeping, and mopping. Your suction settings, as well as the humidity of the mop pad. Now, once it's done mopping, it'll come back and dry itself, which is really cool to see. And yeah, so let's go ahead and just try this out here. So for instance, if I wanted to select a room, I can pick a room that I wanted to mop. So if I wanted to mop letter A, I can click A. If I want to mop D, I can click D, and it'll automatically go to that room. Now, since we want to just clean the kitchen here, I'm going to create a zone, and I'm going to mop that specific zone. So let's go ahead and create a zone here. So we can click this square here, and we can drag how much we want to clean. So in this case here, I would like to clean just this little area here. So just between the fridge right there and this area right here is what I want to clean. So I'm going to go ahead and hit start.
Start cleaning mop pads.
So right now what it's going to do is clean the mop pads, essentially soaking them. So it's got these jets on the bottom which will kind of burst the water into it, using the clean water of course, and it even showcases on the screen on the top what's exactly happening. So right now you can see on the map it'll show that this is currently being cleaned. And once this is done, it'll go and give us a real-time outlet of where this particular robot is. So I don't even have to be at home to know exactly where it's at that specific given moment. Now, besides that, you can hear it. There we go. The water is now going inside, so that's cool. All right. So once we're done, it'll automatically return back to the station, get rid of the dirty water, and then from there, it will dry itself and prepare itself for future use. So right now it's telling us on the top, it's saying mop pad cleaning. So it gives you a readout exactly what's happening in real time. And yeah, I mean, you can still adjust around, play with the settings as well. So that's always cool to see. And you can go ahead and mess around with it at the same time. Now, I cleaned my whole entire house just the other day with this, and I was actually quite surprised on how well of a job it did. It actually scrubs the floor quite well, and this is actually a really cool product to have, just because especially if you have like wood flooring, or if you have tiles. All right, so it's still cleaning our mop pads. Now, the cleaning process does take some time, but again, obviously you need to make sure that it is clean, just because... Oh, there you go. It looks like it's going to go and start now. And we're off. So if I zoom in on the map here, I should be able to see where this guy is going. So there we are. That's so cool. I just love the fact that you can actually see what's happening in real time, and see exactly what the robot is seeing. There we go. And our robot is on its way. Now, using the push sensors, it'll navigate itself around the corners. And it will complete the task, which will actually show a line of where it's been. So I believe what it does first is it creates the boundary, and then after it creates the boundary, it will create the insides of it to be cleaned. There we are. And then it's going to go ahead and come back. So we created the boundary right over here, which it should just turn just like that. Perfect. And it'll move its way around. Now it's created the boundary of where it's supposed to clean. It should just start cleaning the inside of it now. So it's going to go back and forth and clean the area step by step. So this is great, especially if you have like a high use area. You can go ahead and have the thing run back and forth constantly. And yeah, I mean, you can see the water as it's kind of scrubbing the ground there. So it created the boundary, and now it's doing the inside work. And I love the fact that it shows you exactly what it's doing in real time, and kind of explaining like this is where it's going, this is where it's going at, and then it even tells you how long it's taken for it to be cleaning. So in this case here, it's cleaned 2 minutes so far, and it's currently cleaned 4 square meters. Surprisingly, it's doing a great job. From a robotic vacuum, that's actually, I would say this is more of a robotic mop than anything. Now it does have a vacuum on the front, but again, I think using this just for a mop is probably one of the coolest things I've seen yet. So it looks like it's halfway done with its task. Once it's done with its task, it'll return back to its station and then clean itself. So you can see the way it's doing it. It's going quite fast, and actually it's a relatively quick process for what it is. So it creates the boundary, and then it cleans the inside of that boundary. Now, if there happened to have been like a piece of garbage or like a scrap, it'll actually pick it up on its way, because the vacuum on the front is working, and it's got the spindle in there that's kind of spinning about, kind of pushing everything into the collector's bin. And we're just finishing up our final round here. So this particular cleaning area took about 3% of our battery life. So it kind of just showcases how much battery life it will take. You can definitely get a good cleaning out of it before you have to charge it again. And it's done. So now it's going to go ahead and return back to the dock to charge. Once it's back in the dock, it'll clean itself, which is great. So again, using the LiDAR sensor, it can go ahead and navigate itself back into the dock. So line itself up and then it'll rotate and then reverse park back into it, because that particular area is where it cleans the brushes. So now that it's done that, it's gonna go ahead and get rid of the dirty water and it'll clean the mop pads. There you go. So once this is done, it'll go ahead and dry the mop pad so you can go and use it next time. Now to just kind of give you an idea of what else you can do with it, we have a remote control mode. So I can control this. So yeah, kind of gives you an idea of what that's about. Overall, I actually like it a lot. I think it's a really cool product, and the fact that it cleans itself and it scrubs the floor quite nicely, it's actually a great bang for the buck. Now, other than that, if you guys had any questions about it, feel free to comment down below. Otherwise, thank you again for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Take care now. Bye-bye.